Hi, and welcome to our Flexible Tools for a Remote Workforce webinar. We all know that it takes an entire team to ensure that the individuals that we support lives the lives that they choose and they want. One of the biggest obstacles is communication. With software like Therap Canada, you can provide that connection to teams to be able to communicate with each other better and more efficiently, and ultimately provide better supports. Hi, my name is Tiffany Brown, and my colleague Kelvin and I are going to talk to you about Therap's solutions for flexible tools with the remote workforce today. Before we get started, let's start with some introductions. Like I said, my name is Tiffany Brown, and I'm a business development consultant with Therap Canada. I joined the team in 2019. But prior to that, I worked for an agency that provided services to individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities. And I had the pleasure of being part of the Therap implementation team for our agency and was able to witness some of the remarkable transitions of going from paper to electronic system and some of the benefits that really resulted from that. Next, let's meet my colleague, Kelvin.
Hi, everybody. My name is Calvin Christensen, Business Development Consultant with Therap Canada. I have been with Therap since 2014. And like Tiffany, prior to working for Therap, I worked for an organization that provided services to individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities. I was at that organization when we made that transition that some of you are contemplating from paper to an electronic system. So I learned the do's, the don'ts, what went well, what didn't, but most importantly, the benefits and solutions that Therap instantaneously gave us and how we were able to provide better support the more we continued to use Therap. It was a great experience. Fun fact about myself, I'm a big sports fan and I'm fluent in sign language. My parents are deaf, so if you ever want to communicate by not talking but signing, when we see each other or on a video call, feel free to start signing. I'd love to communicate with you that way. But enough about me. Let's talk a little bit about Therap. So Therap started in 2003 in the United States. Our founders, our group of founders, own an agency in Connecticut. And we have since then expanded globally to Africa, Asia, and Canada starting in 2015. Therap is a SaaS system, so that's software as a service. And what that means is that Therap is out of the box. There's not development needed. The tools and solutions we have are going to be available for you and your agency, which is going to help with your organization in terms of cost and getting up and running efficiently and as quick as you can or would like. The 70 modules that Therap has provide solutions from documentation, case management, reporting, tracking your billing, your funding, SCOMs, and really, which is just secure communications, really a whole lot more. How are these modules going to help you and your organization, or what are some of the benefits that we've seen? We've seen that agencies improve their communications. They revisit their processes. And really, when you revisit those processes, it helps you figure out the way to be most efficient. How can we get the job done the most efficient way, right? Let's work smarter and not harder. And you really are going to be able to visit some of those whys and what are the reasons why we do some of the things we do and improve on them. It's going to enhance your quality assurance and oversight. And any compliance that you have, whether that's internal at your organization or provincial, we're going to be able to help make sure that you're falling in line with those regulations or the compliance that you would want as an organization. Now that we've kind of talked about Therap as a whole and some of the modules, the 70 modules that we have, what we're going to now kind of shift to is we're going to really focus in on how flexible and accessible Therap is. And that's kind of our theme today for the webinar. So as you see here, Therap is accessible from anywhere. The most important thing is that you have access to internet or cellular data. You have access to those two things. It's device agnostic, which means we work on computers, laptops, devices, cellular devices, tablets, Therap's going to work as long as you have that connection. As you can see, we have a very reliable uptick time. And one of the most important things you want to know is we are continuously updating and growing the system. If you were to see the system in 2003, we did not have 70 modules. We have continued to evolve. And the reason why we evolve and continue to make upgrades is to make sure that you, our customer base, has the most up-to-date solutions in a field that changes and times that changes very rapidly. So we are continuously updating and making those changes. One of the big things for organizations that are on paper, and I remember my organization, is that I spent so much time, and not just me, but my whole organization, we spent so much time hunting and gathering paper. You guys all know at the end of the month, the end of the week, during the week, quarterly, semi-annually, what you're having to do to ensure that you have the documentation that you need. I remember driving an hour to go look into a book, or making sure people were making the appropriate copies. It was a nightmare if the fax machine or copier went out. Therap's going to provide you that solution. You can see some images on your screen here in the PowerPoint. Whether you're working in the office, whether you're working at somebody's home, you're out in the community, you're going to be able to have real-time access to the documentation your staff, or the communication your staff are entering. And I know firsthand that was a huge tool and a huge support for me as a direct care staff. I was able to know what was going on in real time, which then allowed me to be up to date and provide the highest level of support that I could to the individuals that we were serving. It truly is night and day, the difference that just having access to your information. And please remember, all of this communication and all of this access is going to be very, very secure. We are a PIPEDA compliant system, and that allows you to have the peace of mind to know that anything that you enter in here or that your staff are accessing is very, very secure. We really talked about how you can access everything, how Therap can help you. What I'm going to now do is I'm going to pass this over to my colleague, Tiffany, who's going to really focus on our mobile application, which has some additional functionality that you wouldn't find within the browser of your phone or the desktop. Tiffany?
Thank you, Calvin. So I want to talk a little bit more about our mobile app, which is available on all iOS devices and Android devices. This is going to allow access to some of the functionality, some of the modules that Calvin mentioned, and have the ability for your staff to be able to have quick access, not only to be able to document some of those things, but also to access other records and be able to review things and have information. One of the modules is our T-log module, and this allows for the daily documentation of log notes, progress notes. It allows you to categorize the information by health needs, behavioral, general information. And again, you can search and then read these notes that are being written by team members to keep everybody on that consistent page and up to date with what changes are really occurring in real time. You also have the ability to be able to track your schedule, be able to access your schedule, see where you're scheduled to work. Are you scheduled at a particular group home or a home? Are you scheduled at a particular site with one or two individuals? You can really access that schedule in real time, check in and out for those services at those locations, be able to pick up that geolocation, and also time and date stamp it with that check-in and check-out time. Another feature that's available within our mobile app is the ability to document medication administration. You have the ability to not only see what medications are prescribed and on the MAR, but also to gather some additional information, such as allergies and contact information, to be able to quickly access that medical need record if you need to. You can document missed meds, administered meds, leave of absence medications. And again, this mobile app allows you to be able to do this at any location, whether you are out at a grocery store, whether you're at a sporting event. Pull out that medication, have that the ability to document it right there on the mobile app, and not be fumbling around with papers, losing those papers and having to bring them back to that program. Those records are going to be automatically stored digitally, which everybody would have immediate access to from wherever they are. You can also track and document goals and outcomes, depending on what the person's working on, whether they're working on banking and you're at the bank and you're working with them and you're going through the different steps, being able to document that information, capture it in real time so that you don't forget that specific information when you get back to the program and sit down to document. You have that ability to upload photographs if you need to as part of that. You can also capture signatures to verify service delivery. A lot of great features with being able to track that goal and outcome information within the mobile app. There's also the ability to communicate with other team members that have access to your account as well. It's all PPIDA compliant, all PHI is protected. Again, you're able to communicate internally through an internal emailing system with other team members that are working with those service providers. You can share documents if you need to, review something specific. It's a safe place to be able to share that information. Again, overall, that mobile app really does provide that ability to access information and document services from virtually anywhere. To wrap up, I just want to remind you that flexible tools and remote access ultimately lead to better support for the individuals. You're connecting the whole team and sharing information quickly and securely. It's almost like that whole team is sitting in the same room with that information and being able to coordinate and share that information, but knowing that they're really at different locations at different times of the day and still having access to all of those same records using various devices and again, from various locations. To learn more about our flexible tools, please feel free to contact us. Our information is on the screen below, and you are able to use that QR code and connect directly with us, or feel free to send us an email. Thank you so much, and I hope you all have a great